You made a game. More specifically, you made an Android game. And you're all excited. You learned something new in Unity. You want to share it with your friends. Thinking, oh, everything's great. And then you make the APK, install it on your device. And then your heart breaks because the resolution is all off. Nothing is where it should be. Your GUI or GUI or UI or whatever you want to call it, it's all over the place. And you're like, what is going on? I don't understand. And then you realize that you think that, oh, well, all the screen sizes of the phones are the same, right? Oh, no. You got manufacturers seem to want to compete with each other. So you got a 16 by 9 over here. You got an 18 by 9 over there. Oh, well, here's a 19 by 9. Oh, and let's throw in some random, 17 by 10 or 4 by 3 or who knows what type of resolution, aspect ratio, whatever you want to call it. It's all over the place. Nothing has got the same size. And you're like, why? Why do you torture me so? This right here, what you see on the screen, this is just some random thing I just threw together just to show what I learned, which isn't much, but it might be helpful to some people that apparently it didn't quite sink in after the millions of tutorials and documentation and forum posts that you read. Not that many mention a certain thing that you're like, why not? Because apparently I didn't know it until I found a post way, way back when, and I'm like, oh, look there. So this is me just doing a simple thing for myself to say, hey, don't forget about this later on when I'm working on it again and I forget. Or if someone else is as dense as I am that didn't realize that you could do this in Unity. Go figure. Anyways, I got on OpenGameArt just a random graphics. This is not mine. I just reused what he had. So as you see in the game, this is there ain't nothing to it. It's very simple. In Unity, it looks fine. You click me, you get the no mana for you. Click off, fairly simple. Now, in Unity, it looks great. I'm doing a 16 by 9 portrait resolution or ratio or whatever you want to call it. It looks great in Unity. My camera's set up the way I want it. My canvas, I have the screen space overlay. I got pixel perfect. I've got it scaling with the screen size because that is very important. And I'm doing a reference resolution, which is 768 by 1366, which happens to be a 16 by 9 ratio. It's just the smaller version of a 16 by 9 ratio, which for me, it works. You find the right resolution that works for you, but for me, it works. I'm going to just match the width or height, and you want it to match the width. Now, there are some forum posts that I've read, some of them saying to do the width, some of them are saying to do 0.5. You do what works best for you. I'm going to do the width. And that script is just click the buttons and make it work. Alright. Now, I like actually installing the game on devices versus just relying on what the Unity editor shows me, or if I use the Unity remote on a device plugged into Unity. That doesn't always show me what it looks like. It has lied to me a few times. So I like actually installing them on developer mode and seeing what my progress is to make sure it's actually working the way I intended it. So what you're seeing on the screen is actually a really cheap tablet I bought from Walmart. It's the On brand 7-inch tablet. Real cheap tablet. And as you can see, the tops and the bottom is cut off. And I mean, everything else is kind of scaled and looking correct, except the fact that it cut off part of my UI. And then I've got a Samsung Galaxy Note 10 Plus, and here same thing, except now it's like it won't fill the entire space of the phone. It only fills the center of the phone, so you got a gap on the top and the bottom that the UI is not even filling. Even though we have it scaled to screen size, it's not officially set up to scale with screen size. So the first thing after you get your canvas scaler and all that working, you're supposed to anchor your pieces to your canvas. Now, I understand that and I realize that, but at the same time, it never necessarily dawned on me on how to do this properly. So my middle section, well, it might help if I go to my scene view, huh? I'm gonna have it, I wanted it to scale in the center, but anyways, these are anchor points. This scales it from the very center point. This scales it from all four corners of the whole area that it's in, which is the canvas. Now, I'm just going to show you with me not realizing the other thing first. We're going to just pick a point and not do the next step that you need to do. I'm going to show you what this part looks like first to make it work on all screen sizes. So this middle section, we're going to anchor it in the middle. No, we're going to anchor it in all four corners to start with. The left, we're going to want it to go to the left, up and down. The right, we're going to want it to go to the right, up and down. The image, I want it kind of up at the top middle. Let's see, turn my window on. I want this to kind of be stretched in the middle. My button, I kind of want it up there. My No Mana for You, I want it in the center. My image, I kind of want it anchored down there. This is kind of long and boring, so all you're doing is basically setting anchor points for every single item or game object in your canvas. Alright, still go in the game view, nothing looks like it's changed on the computer, but when we do it on the tablet and phone, it's going to look a lot different. So for now, just by normal setting anchors, this is what it looks like. It's not cut off on the bottom and the top anymore. On the tablet, it's looking fine on how it's going. There is a little bit of an issue with the little window where it says No Mana for You is kind of a lot closer to the potion bottle than I want. On the phone, it's scaling the whole screen now versus just the center. Everything so far is looking okay, but as you see the potion, it's not necessarily scaling properly. There's a big space now in between the No Mana for You and the potion. Now in some cases that might work for you and it might be fine. But in other cases, it's not so fine. So a way to fix that, I never realized you can actually manually move the anchor points. Like right now, this center section here is anchored at every corner of the whole canvas as a whole. Now, that means it's going to be partially stretched up there and partially not. from this point to the actual point, it's kind of a pixel size in a way. Like a positioning, like a transformer, you know, X, Y, and Z coordinates. It's not necessarily per se a percentage of the screen, if that's the right wordage that I'm looking for. So to kind of sort of fix this, these little arrows, like if I clicked on, let's say this window one here, where is my, it's not that one. Let's do the Nomana. You see the little X here? That's the anchor point. We're moving these anchor points manually. All right. So let me close this out just so I can see better. This middle section, we don't want it anchored at the very top of the canvas. We want it anchored right here. So we're going to bring it down to meet with our anchor point or edge of the section there. And then we're going to do the same for the bottom. We're going to bring this up to meet with it here. So now, if you didn't see it, let me see if it, I can't see it here. I guess I'm too far away. Anyways, there's going to be a percentage now from the top of the canvas to the top of our border of our middle section. And then we want to do that for every single piece in the canvas. So this left section is all anchored to the side. Well, we're going to want it anchored not only there, but we want to keep the percentage here. So at the very bottom, since I'm holding it, can't use my mouse because if I let go, the percentage goes away. You can see that it says 100% up and down, and at the bottom it says 8%. And then 92%. So it's going to be using percentages versus pixels or X, Y, Z coordinate type. I don't know how to explain it. I'm not a teacher. All right. And like this heroes and villains, we're going to want to move these because we want it to kind of scale our images or words or boxes or buttons. We want it kind of sort of to keep the same scale in the same position and not stretch and move. We want it to be where we want it. Otherwise, you're going to have problems with things overlapping, and we don't want that. Again, all I'm doing is going through everything and setting the manual anchor point for them. Alright, let's see what it looks like now. Here you can see now what it looks like. There isn't a huge change on the tablet. I mean, without putting them side by side, you won't see a huge difference. But the percentage of the bottom is going to be the same percentage versus before it was a little bit smaller. On the Nomana for You window, I can't even talk now. It's a little bit better. It's not all squished together. It's scaled the way we have it scaled in the Unity. So it's looking better. Now, the biggest difference is here on the phone. There's a big difference. Almost everything is scaling percentage-wise perfectly. However, I've noticed that out of everything, anything that has a grid layout group attached to it, that doesn't seem to scale properly at all with the scale of screen size, no matter what I've done. You're going to have to write a script to fix it, or build your own layout group, type grid layout group thingy. It's up to you. But as you can see, the Nomana for You, it's scaling correctly this time too as well. But for some odd reason, I don't know why, but that grid layout group will not scale properly no matter what you do. And it is causing me a lot of headaches in my current project. So to fix it, you basically would either have to write a script to override it or create your own function in your own, grid layout group. Well, I hope this kind of sort of gave some insight and helped some people. Who would have thought that you can manually move anchor points and actually make it a percentage of the screen size versus a pixel transform type, whatever you want to call it thing. Alright guys, have some fun, make some games, enjoy.